Hey everyone, and welcome to the Defining Your Life podcast, where we focus on living in our purpose, practicing presence, and activating our power in each moment. I'm Marsha Rell, your resident pep talk provider, and I invite you to join me as we continue to learn, lift each other up, and strive to level up together. Because we are never finished defining our lives, and it takes a village, so let's build one. Stay tuned for the episode. Hey everyone, Marsha Rell here, and welcome to the first official episode of the Defining Your Life podcast. Today, I'm here with a pep talk. You'll probably end up hearing quite a few pep talks here because the goal is to encourage, build, and lift each other up. And what better way to get a boost than through a pep talk? So in today's episode, I'm hoping to encourage us all to shift our mindsets right now. If all is on the up and up for you, then great. Maybe this will just serve as an extra dose of motivation for you. But for those of us who need to get a fire started, I am sharing. I'm not someone who believes in waiting until the beginning of the week, start of the month, or top of the year to get started or restarted on new endeavors. I believe that the time to start is always now. And I know that for me, if I give myself too much time, I can find an excuse to not get the thing done at all. So I've been making a conscious effort to remove any obstacles that I can when it's time for me to embark on a new journey, and that includes starting as soon as possible. And so with that mindset, that energy, I want to kick things off with reactivating the dreamer in you. If you listen to my intro episode, you are a bit familiar with my story, and as I described it, the loss of myself. My dreams, focus, and drive were buried under layers of other stuff. Taking a step back to look at how this happened, I have to admit that although putting my dreams to the side was a matter of circumstance on some level, this decision, and I'm calling it a decision because I'm owning it, it was subconsciously intentional in some ways. I had to tell myself that there was no way to get this thing done or that thing done due to a variety of factors. But when looking at the full picture, in some cases, that simply wasn't true. Now, was going extra hard to execute some of my loftier goals during the time when my children were young, and I also had a job that was inflexible. Was it a possibility? Not completely. But were those limitations an excuse for me to put down the things that fueled me altogether? Absolutely not. So, why did I do it? Why did I hamper myself during this time? The simple answer is, it was easier. I hate to admit that, but I am owning my truth and sharing it with you all. I tapped out. It was easier than facing the fear of failure, uncertainty, what others might think or say, working beyond the point of exhaustion, and so on and so forth. You may have a list similar to mine. But it was so easy to come up with excuses as to why it was too hard to get work done with little ones running around, or focus on how I didn't have a sitter to go to a networking event, or how I didn't know the right people or have access to the resources. And the biggest excuse of all, I'm too tired. I mean, I was always tired. I had young kids and a husband who worked late several nights a week. I was too tired to dedicate an extra hour in the mornings before work or in the evenings after work in order to get things done. And an hour's not enough time to get into a flow. So what would have been the point anyway, right? I will be the first to admit that I would get so frustrated when people would suggest that I stretch and carve out more time or tell me that I just needed to make it happen. Don't make excuses, they'd say. Time is passing you by. And I know they meant it to motivate me. But inside, I was like, you don't know my life and all that I have to do. I thought that I was giving it my all. And that was that. Sure, I would sacrifice for a little while, but then I would inevitably throw in the towel. And for some of you listening, all of these things may very well be true for you as well. But the wiser version of me wants to challenge you to a new thought pattern, because hindsight showed me that I was in fact able to do more. Maybe not everything, but I could have for sure done more. So I want you to ask yourself the following. What is the workaround for the blockers that are keeping me from moving forward? What is another path that I can take in order to get the same or even similar results? Is there a way to reframe my dream so that I can stay activated during this time when things aren't exactly ideal? Because the truth of the matter is, the larger the gap in time you create for immersing yourself in the things you love and in your dreams, the harder it is to get back to those things. And then those dreams become unidentifiable, and you run the risk of feeling and becoming lost. At least that was my experience, but hey, maybe I'm the only one. I want to encourage you, seriously, don't fall prey to yourself and the blockages that we create when we are unsure how to move forward. Instead, take a step back to assess and see if there is another way or a slight shift we can make in order to move the needle. I also can't stress this enough. This life of dreaming and doing, okay, because what good is the dreaming without the doing? It isn't solely centered around your career or your profession. We should be dreaming in every part of our lives. Whatever feeds and nurtures us is what we should be dreaming about and working toward. Will a hobby feed you? Perhaps it's exercise, cooking, volunteering, organizing. Maybe it's just a dream of yours to carve out a little downtime. Now that may seem trivial, but it can be so hard to do. But dreaming and doing are part of our whole person. We need them both in order to be complete. Without them, we become stale, stagnant people who not only are unfulfilled, but have less to give to others. Think of the imagination, often only associated with childhood. Why is that? Perhaps children aren't bogged down with all of the cares and woes of life, but they also give themselves permission to keep dreaming. That is, as long as no one else intervenes and takes that privilege away from them. And many times, we take that privilege away from ourselves. Now, dreaming is not a privilege to be taken for granted. I am fully aware that there can be so many blockages in our lives that just won't allow for it. We have to work hard to exercise those inner muscles, flex and free the privilege within us. No matter the outer circumstances, our mind is ours alone to control. The thoughts we feed it, what we tell ourselves, all controlled by us. So the same way we convinced ourselves we couldn't do it, let's take that same energy and convince ourselves that we can. And it's a process. You may need help or guidance from a trusted source or professional. Allow yourself permission to seek that too. Say it with me. Help is not a bad word. I could have alleviated a ton of stress in my life and gotten so many more things done if I had simply asked for help. Folks aren't mind readers and closed mouths don't get fed. So please, open your mouth and ask for what you need. So what will it take to reactivate the dreamer in you today? Let's take a few moments to pause wherever you are, at your desk, in bed, wherever. Grab paper and pen, or use the audio recorder on your phone even. I encourage you to write down or record 3 things that light you up, big or small. Size doesn't matter. And let's activate one of those things today. It could be as small as making your bed because neatness and order make you feel amazing, but you just don't make time for it. Or it could be as large as submitting an application for college or filing an LLC because that is big and scary and you don't know how to approach it. But remember, all of our actions and decisions, no matter their size, matter. And if you need someone to chat with about it, shoot me an email or a DM. I am more than happy to be that sounding board, that support, that cheerleader. We can all do it. We can all live enriched lives that are fulfilling and fruitful. And we can do it together. But it starts with you and it starts with me independently. We are responsible for ourselves, for our fulfillment, for our happiness. Let's take ownership and let's reactivate one step at a time. I want to leave you with the beautifully crafted words of Langston Hughes from the poem Dreams, a friendly reminder of the impact of deactivating our dreams. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. That poem has always resonated with me since childhood. And I don't know about you, but I'm not trying to live a life that is like a frozen, barren field. So we've got some work to do. I'm looking forward to hearing how you all activate this week, and I can't wait to chat with you all again next week. Please don't be a stranger, and don't hesitate to connect with me outside of this space. Take care until next time.